You've been lied to. Transitioning from freelancer to agency owner isn't a promotion. It's a complete career change, a metamorphosis. And if you ignore it, you're heading straight for disaster. You're a freelancer, you're good, clients are flocking in. The next logical step seems to be building an agency, right? To earn more, work less, have a greater impact. That's the dream you're sold. But this dream omits a crucial, and much harder, part of the story. In this video, inspired by countless real-life experiences, we're going to deconstruct this transition into 7 critical stages. 7 transformations you must understand before you even hire your first employee. This isn't a to-do list, it's a roadmap to avoid losing your passion and your sanity along the way. Chapter 1: The Myth of Freedom. The story often begins the same way. Let's call our character Alex. Alex is a talented freelance graphic designer. He's so good he has to turn clients away. He works 70 hours a week. His schedule is a mosaic of impossible deadlines. The solution seems obvious: hire someone. Delegate to free up time, to breathe, to finally be free. So he recruits his first collaborator, Chloe. On paper, it's perfect. 50% less work. In reality, that's where the trap springs shut. For the first few weeks, Alex doesn't save time, he loses it. He has to train Chloe, explain his vision, review her work, correct the details. He has to set up communication tools, answer her questions, manage her doubts. His time is no longer spent producing, but supervising. The illusion is believing an employee is an extension of yourself. The reality is an employee is a whole person who needs direction, feedback, and support. Alex thought he was buying time. In fact, he traded one type of work, production, for another, management. And this is just the beginning. The freedom he sought transformed into a new kind of gilded cage, permanent availability for his team. Chapter 2: The Artist Becomes the Manager. Before, Alex's greatest joy was opening his design software and creating. That was his zone of genius, where he felt alive. But upon becoming an agency boss, even with just one person, his role radically changed. Here's a typical day for Alex the manager: 1 hour for the morning client brief, 30 minutes to debrief with Chloe, 2 hours to answer emails and prepare quotes, 1 hour for accounting, 1 hour of review and feedback on Chloe's project, then another hour on the phone with a prospect. The day ends. Alex checks the clock. He hasn't opened his creative software for a single second. This is the biggest shock: the work you loved, the work that made you good, you hardly do it anymore. You become the conductor, not the first violin. Your satisfaction no longer comes from your own creation, but from your team's success. It's a huge psychological shift. For many, it's a source of frustration, a form of grief. They feel like they've abandoned their art. The truth is, you don't abandon it, you pass it on. But to succeed in this transition, you must accept letting go of execution. And that's often the hardest mountain to climb. But that's not all, because another, much heavier, responsibility emerges. Chapter 3: The Weight of Responsibility. As a freelancer, if a month is slower, that's your problem. You tighten your belt, you prospect more aggressively. It's stressful, but you're only responsible for yourself. The day Alex signed Chloe's contract, everything changed. On the 31st of the month, her salary had to be paid. Whether clients had paid or not. Whether projects had come in or not. Suddenly, it's no longer just your livelihood on the line, it's someone else's. It's the weight of payroll. It's the responsibility to provide a stable work environment, to ensure there are enough projects to justify a salary. Alex remembers his first month end. A major client was late with payment. He had to dip into his personal savings to pay Chloe. That night, he didn't sleep. He wasn't thinking about his own future, but about his employees. This mental burden is constant. It never takes a vacation. It's the price you pay to build something bigger than yourself. Each new hire multiplies this weight. It's a pressure few freelancers anticipate, and it can be overwhelming if you're not prepared for it. And this pressure often comes with a new and disorienting feeling. Chapter 4: The Loneliness of Leadership. When Alex was a freelancer, he was part of a community. He had freelance friends with whom he could complain about clients, share his doubts about his rates, celebrate his victories. They were all in the same boat. By becoming the boss, he changed boats. He's now the captain. He can no longer complain about the workload to his team, because he's the one distributing it. He can no longer share his financial anxieties, because he must project an image of stability and confidence. He has become the leader. One day, a very difficult client questioned all of the agency's work. Alex had to defend his team, confront the client, and make a difficult decision that didn't please everyone internally. That evening, he had no one to talk to about it. His freelance friends didn't understand the complexity of managing a team. His team, meanwhile, saw him as the boss who had made a decision. That's the loneliness of leadership. You're at the top of your own small pyramid, and at the top, there's only room for one. You have to learn to manage this solitude, to find other agency owners to share with, to build a new support network. Because without it, isolation can quickly lead to burnout. And that's where the most strategic change must occur. Chapter 5: The client no longer buys you, they buy a system. This was Alex's greatest pride as a freelancer. Clients came for him. For his style, his signature touch, his reputation. He was the product. It's a comfortable position, but it's also a glass ceiling. For his agency to work, he had to revolutionize his sales approach. He had to stop selling Alex the designer and start selling the agency and its method. The turning point came with one of his oldest clients. When Alex announced that Chloe would handle the execution part of the project, the client balked. "But it's you I want, it's for your expertise I'm paying." Alex lost the contract. It was a slap in the face, but a much-needed wake-up call. He understood that to scale, value could no longer reside in a single person, but in the agency's process. The reliability, the methodology, the strength of a team, the ability to manage larger projects. Your client no longer buys your personal magic. They buy a promise, a method, a reliable system that works with or without you. If you keep selling yourself, your agency is just a freelancer with fixed costs and executing staff. To become a real agency, you must become replaceable within your own system. It's counterintuitive, but it's the only way. And to get there, you need iron discipline. Chapter 6: The Tyranny of Processes. The prosperous freelancer often thrives in organized creative chaos. His methods are in his head, his files are organized his way. It's efficient for one person. It's a disaster for a team. Alex learned this the hard way. Initially, he gave instructions to Chloe orally, by email, via instant messages. Soon, information got lost, deadlines were missed. He spent more time searching for information than working. The solution? Processes. That word scares creatives. It evokes rigidity, bureaucracy, the end of spontaneity. Alex had to systematize everything: how to name a file, how to brief a project, how to follow up with clients, how to invoice. He implemented a project management tool. At first, the team resisted. It was perceived as a constraint. But after a few weeks, the magic happened. Communication was clearer, errors decreased, and paradoxically, everyone had more time to focus on the core of the business: creation. Transitioning from freelance to agency means moving from a world of intuition to a world of systems. You no longer build projects, you build a machine for consistently producing quality projects. It's less glamorous, but it's what differentiates a group of freelancers from a true agency. And it's only after overcoming all these challenges that the true reward arrives. Chapter 7: The True Reward. After months of doubt, stress, and hard work, Alex began to see the fruit of his efforts. One day, a very large company contacted them for a major project. A project he would have been absolutely incapable of handling alone as a freelancer. The budget was colossal, the challenge immense. Alex mobilized his team, which now numbered 4 people. He directed the strategy, but it was his collaborators who produced exceptional creations. He saw collective intelligence at work. When they delivered the project and received the client's congratulations, Alex felt a different kind of pride than he had known before. It wasn't the pride of having done his own work well. It was the pride of having built a team capable of achieving the impossible. The true reward isn't working less. Initially, you work more. The true reward isn't necessarily earning more, because overheads are enormous. The true reward is impact. It's building something that transcends you, creating jobs, providing opportunities for other talents, and delivering projects of a scope you could never have imagined alone in your office. That's the real promotion. Transitioning from creator to builder. In conclusion, moving from freelance to agency isn't a simple evolution. It's a metamorphosis. You must shed your expert hat for that of a leader. You trade the freedom of execution for the responsibility of vision. You shift from selling your time to selling a system. It's a demanding path, strewn with psychological and structural pitfalls that few people anticipate. But if you are aware of these 7 transformations, if you are ready to change careers and not just status, then you have a chance to build not only a successful business, but also an incredibly enriching human adventure. So the question isn't, am I good enough to build an agency? The real question is, am I ready to become the person this project demands I be? Subscribe for daily business tips. Don't forget to subscribe.